Hello teachers, and here we are at Give Me 5 Book 2 Unit 2. This is our MiniTUT series. Lesson 1, and that means vocabulary. So let's jump straight into our Unit 2. And as we can see that we are using the backdrop of a greengrocer's to teach countable and non-countable nouns. And the book calls it indefinite articles over there. Now we can call them determiners, we can call them quantifiers. For example, a peach helps us understand that it's one peach, right? Some bread helps us understand that it's part of or many of one thing, right? Or part of or a quantity of one thing, I should say. So here's the vocabulary at the bottom of the page as usual. And I, as the teacher, am going to throw it up onto the chalkboard just like so. But it's really important that you, as the teacher, understand what your next steps are going to be. If you haven't seen my video on singular and plural with the magic blender, please take a look or look around for it. And you'll see the magic blender and then the slices of toast with the eggs on top. And so it helps you to understand and contextualize what's going on. Now, all textbooks, almost all textbooks, will have flashcards and pictures that accompany the words that they're trying to help students understand. And it's very important for the teacher to have the best practice for teaching. When the teacher is teaching, you simply do not say tomato, pineapple, carrot, and peach. Of course, what you need to teach is a tomato, a pineapple, a carrot, and a peach. Why? Because if we are going to now teach other nouns that are non-countable, we confuse our students. If, for example, I say tomato, pineapple, carrot, bread, that is incorrect on all four cases. In fact, this is a tomato, this is a pineapple, and this is a carrot. And in fact, this one over here is a loaf of bread, or a stick, if you want to call it that, of bread. The correct name, of course, is a baguette, right? Using the French word to describe that this is in fact a baguette. This is not yogurt. This is a cup, or a container, or a unit of yogurt. It's not yogurt. And this one over here is not peach or a peach. It's one peach and a half a peach. So therefore we could just call it 1.5 peaches, not 1.5 peach. And so my meaning is that your presentation of the vocabulary, and in this particular case, your presentation of the nouns has got to be clear and concise and precise, which means that you as the teacher need to teach more rather than teach less. So, put a little bit of effort into your lesson and help the students understand something. That, once again, here is a tomato, and this is in fact bread. We cannot count it, it's the substance. This is now yogurt. This stuff over here is yogurt. If you want to be more specific, you could say a spoon of yogurt, and behind it is a bowl full of yogurt. But hopefully that picture is still clear enough to help students understand that this is yogurt. And finally, this now would be peach. It's the substance. Here is a peach. Here is peach. Okay. And therefore, as I said before, we want to teach more rather than less. Now, in Book 2, Unit 2, we can simply touch on the fact that this is bread, okay? And then this would be then a baguette and a loaf. This is yogurt, and that would then be a teaspoon full of yogurt. And that is peach, and maybe you can touch on the fact that it is a slice of peach. Because we're trying to make sure that our students are not confused with the vocabulary that we are presenting. Now the book is quite simple. Actually what the book wants us to teach is simply a tomato, a pineapple, and some bread. However, as I've just demonstrated, this is not some bread. That is in fact a loaf. And so we need to be clear on what we are presenting to our students. Now, why do I say this? Because even MacMillan, even the MacMillan book, the publishers that have made Give Me 5, have presented this in a confusing way. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at their picture right over here, right at the beginning. They have showed us that this is now bread, and it is not bread. That is a loaf or a baguette, but it is not bread. So, keep that in the back of your mind when you approach your lesson, okay? Keep all of those things in the back of your mind when you approach your lesson so that you eliminate confusion. And we're going to jump straight into our lesson. Boom! Okay, so now we're going to throw up our words on the chalkboard as they appear in the book. And the reason for that is because we want our students to become familiar. We don't want to confuse them too much. And we need to get our students to be able to pronounce these words properly. So I'm going to divide it into this one, and I'm going to say, all right, boys and girls, team number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Team number 1 stands up. They read it, boom, 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 boom. All right, good job. I give you guys a team score of this. All right, team number 2, stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, boom, boom. They get a point. They get points based on their reading as well. Then, of course, you do team number 3, and you do team number 4. And then you can do the next 6 words over here. And this is just simply to be able to raise their mood and to help them focus in on the words, as well as increase phonemic awareness. Because pineapple is very different to a pineapple, which is also very different to pineapples. Okay, so it's phonemic awareness building. Now we're going to do the exact same thing again, and we're going to ask our students to read those words, these 6 over here and these 6 over there. And perhaps what you can do this time, instead of having groups, you could have student A and student B stand up, and student A will read the green, student B will read the purple, and then they will get points based on how well they read, okay? It just depends on what you want to do. And as I said before, this is about building phonemic awareness. Now we move on to the other part of this, and that is to do, say, for example, a guessing game. And so what I want you to do is I want you to draw a picture on the board, and I want the students to shout it out, and then they will say, all right, boys and girls, what is this? Some students might say pineapple, which of course it's not. It's pineapple. It's a pineapple. A pineapple. Then you can draw this one over here. All right, boys and girls, what's this? And then they'll say carrot. Of course it's not. It's carrots. And so this guessing game is allowing our students to really focus in on the words that they are saying. We have just done the singular, we have just done the plural, and now it is time for them to produce, to apply what you have just taught them. If and when you are satisfied that they are saying the right thing to describe the right nouns, we can then move on to the next activity. All right, boys and girls, here is a, and here is s or z. And I want 2 students to stand up. So now we have two students. One is Candy, for example. Candy over here, and this will be Carl over here. And then you will say, all right, boys and girls, I'm going to say a word, for example, carrot, and I want you guys to write down a carrot or carrots. So basically, the students will hear this one. Candy will write down a carrot, and Carl will write down carrots. And so the teacher shouts out carrot, pineapple, tomato, potato, green bean, lemon, whatever they want to shout, and then we're going to get all of the words on the board. And so once we've done that, we can populate our whiteboard, and once we've finished populating it with the words that we want them to be able to speak out, we can then reinforce. Team A, 3, 2, 1, go. A potato, potatoes. Team B, this one, a peach, peaches. Good. Team C, this one, a carrot, carrots. Good. Team D, whatever, team 4, a lemon, lemons. Now, it might seem like a lot of repeating. If you feel like your students have got the idea, move on. If you feel like your students haven't got the idea, make sure that they repeat this as many times as possible. Once you have done this part of your lesson, now we move on to the next part. All right, boys and girls, let's take it at this word, and it's called sum. Now we had Candy and Carl that were over here. Now we're going to get different students. We're going to get Peter and Paulina. All right, Paulina and Peter, teacher's going to say a word, for example, potato, and I want you to write down potato and potatoes. And so you go through potato, potato, potatoes, green bean, green bean, green beans, tomato, tomato, tomatoes. And so as we go through the activity, the students are writing it down, they're getting points, etc. It's a lot of fun, and you will then be left with this on the chalkboard. Now, what you need to do is you need to bring your students' attention to something very important. It is some potato, some potatoes. But it is not some a peach. It's not some a potato. You understand? Some potatoes, some potatoes, some potato, but not some a potato. And again, this is how the book presents the indefinite article. So it's important for the kids to understand this. All right, boys and girls, take a look at these two words over here. Here are yogurt and bread. And as you can see, I didn't include yogurt and bread over here at all, because I want my students to simply apply some and yogurt and bread. If you are going to extend further on in your lesson and you want the kids to say you would say, all right, boys and girls, a cup of yogurt, a loaf of bread. You want them to have plural for yogurt, cups of yogurt, loaves of bread. And now your students start to understand that if they want to pluralize yogurt, this is where the plural comes in. Not yogurts, not breads. That means something totally different. Okay, now that you've got this on your board, your students will then have a pretty good idea, or they should have a pretty good idea, of what's going on. And then you can start to substitute inside the book. Now take a look at the structure that they give you inside the book, and that is, hello, can I help you? Can I have an apple please and a peach please? That means an apple and a peach. Can I have some bread? That's a problem. And some carrots. So here are some carrots. But the some bread does not mean 1, 2, 3 of those. It can mean that, but this is where you have to be very careful. So my meaning is this. Create a structure where there is limited confusion. Because in fact, we should be saying some loaves of bread. We want 3 of them. But the way that the book has presented it is confusing. It's going to set your kids up for failure. So you as the teacher need to avoid these difficulties. And you're going to avoid the difficulties by teaching smart. Okay. All right, teachers. So I hope now that you understand what's going on. If you feel your students still don't understand, that's not a problem. Take a step to the side, reinforce it again with more pictures. Pineapples, a pineapple, right? Carrots, a carrot, blah, 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 until they really get that idea. A loaf of bread, loaves of bread. Like I said, please teach more. Don't teach less, and you should be fine. Anyway, teachers, I hope that you learned something from this lesson. Please do let me know and comment if you found this useful. And if you didn't find it useful, let me know as well, because maybe I can help you teach in an even more precise way. Anyway, good luck and happy teaching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.